guys, you guys saw the intro, you guys saw the title. It's a little ugly outside, it's a little rainy, but I'm gonna show you guys something a lot of nice.
Wow, it's very nice.
All right guys, this is a 3-inch E-Valve RPM exhaust in titanium. They also offer stainless versions, so check those out. Links in the description. This thing has got to be the holy grail of side dumps. Insanely beautiful, as you guys saw from the intro. Definitely very nice. Want to note real quick, I did cut off the old hanger that used to be here. I flipped the hanger and I bolted it to the cage so you guys can see a whole lot more of it. Really badass. We're gonna do some sound clips, some drive-bys, and give you guys a good idea of what this thing sounds like, because it is throaty. Timmy's on the channel, CJ's back. As you guys know, CJ has a exhaust dump just like this one, but from another manufacturer.
Oh, yeah. Mamma mia!
And I would say this one's louder. What do you think, Tim?
It's definitely louder.
So I don't know, because that extra ½ inch, the pipe is resonating more of the sound. And my car's a single R, his X3 is a double R, and it does seem to be a lot louder. Also, I want to know that when the exhaust valve is closed and it's going out the muffler, it's still louder than stock, because you remove that cat, and because of that 3-inch piping, it definitely sounds louder even when it's you know, closed. So sounds pretty dope. Let's get on to the sound clips. Mild when you want it and wild when you want it. So when you're trying to flex on your buddies here, you open that valve, or you're with the family, keep it quiet and just leave it off. So best of both worlds. This is an awesome option for you guys that don't want to spend the money on a full exhaust. This is the way to go, I think. All right guys, before the flybys, I want to show you guys the OEM clamp. Now the clamp you can see already, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but the stud is already bending from installing this clamp. So they do give you a new clamp, which has a thicker diameter bolt. The clamp itself is a lot heavier duty, and you can see here the quality of the parts, really nice. The exhaust is just a piece of art. So I'm gonna put this cover back on, and we're gonna do a couple flybys for you guys.
Minutes later.
What the hell happened?
I don't know.
This guy was doing donuts too.
You guys went to the donut shop. You guys went to the donut shop.
Mine were half-ass donuts. I was spinning and the water would just threw me all the way. I am not good at it, but it was plenty of unresponsible fun.
Don't try this at home.
Don't try this at home.
Or anywhere for that matter.
All right, so we'll get on to the install. Towards the end of this video, I'm gonna show you guys what the titanium valve used to look like and how I turned it into a darker blue, which I personally like because it came out of the box purpley bronzy, which looks awesome. But because my car is blue, I wanted the pipe to be blue too. So check out the video at the very end. Yeah. Woo! from the intro, this exhaust is completely insane. So this is an exhaust that's familiar to you guys. You guys have seen exhausts just like this that have the cat delete. It's got a dump valve on the side, so when you want to press the button, it gets a lot louder, as you can see. But the difference between this one and every other one you've seen is this one's made of titanium, and I haven't seen a titanium version on YouTube as of yet, at least from the searches I did. It looks pretty nuts, as you guys can tell. It came in this really royal purple color, as you can see there. Towards the end of this video, you guys can see what I did to turn it a lot bluer with the heat gun. If you guys didn't know, titanium anodizes itself with heat, and then these rich colors versus just steel usually just turns bronze. Maybe you'll get some hints of blue, but in titanium it changes to these wild purples and blues, and even green if you get it hot enough. Oh, actually, I don't know if you get it hot enough, but if you get it electro anodized, which is a process used with, like, you can use baking soda and water, and you can electric anodize a piece of titanium. I used to do it on my knives. For example, this one, this used to be regular titanium color, and I turned it blue. And you could do that with a baking soda and water solution. You can actually turn this green, believe it or not. But obviously my car is blue, and blue looks amazing, and the colors on this just look freaking nuts. So, and thanks to Jason over at RPM Side by Side, or RPM Powersports, they made a hell of a piece, and they gave me a kicking deal, and that's why I got this piece for you guys today to show it off to you guys. So if you guys are interested in exhausts like this, these are a premium. But if you want the natural stainless steel, the more common version, they do make a stainless steel version of this in a 2.5 inch pipe, which is pretty much the same thing as their competitors in terms of diameter. They also make a big mouth 3 inch just like this one, for a very reasonable price as well. You guys can check it out. I'm gonna leave links in the description. Like I said, 5% off for you guys. It's not a lot, but they're already priced really good in comparison with their competitors. So one thing I want to know before we head on with the install is the valve and the electric actuator, as well as the wiring, is the same exact thing as the one that you guys saw us install on CJ's car, which is a shocker. So we're gonna go ahead and install this. I can't wait. I already put the O2 sensor in. We already took off the muffler. We already took off a bunch of stuff. And I also want to go over with you guys some brackets that I had to modify in order to work this exhaust. Another feature that I wanted to mention from RPM Powersports on their exhaust is they offer dual bungs. So one will be for your O2 sensor. If you're a high boost guy out there with a big turbo and you need a wideband, they have the bung already there for you, which is a really nice feature, because I know a lot of the other exhausts don't come with that, and you have to you know, weld it in yourself or ask for a special order that way. All right, so quick comparison. This is the stock OEM cat pipe, and this is the new RPM side by side, or RPM Powersports delete slash cutoff valve in titanium. Obviously the differences here are gonna be pretty simple. Obviously this pipe is a lot bigger. It's a 3 inch versus whatever the hell the OEM one is, probably 2.5. Also the OEM one uses these heat shields. You cannot use the heat shields on the new titanium one. The pipe is too big. And then also we're getting rid of the cat. So a big reason for these heat shields is this pipe, including the turbo, gets really hot because the cat. So if you guys didn't know, the cat burns unburned gases coming out of your cylinders, and it gets really hot. This is the main focal point of the heat from your exhaust for the most part. On this new cat delete slash exhaust cutout, you're gonna get rid of that, so it's gonna run a lot cooler. So because of that, we're not gonna run the shields. And besides that, near the back of the pipe, near the turbo, there is a bracket that holds this in place, which is this guy here. It sits something like that, right? You're no longer gonna use this because for one, it doesn't fit over the titanium pipe, and yeah, you don't need it. So if you do get the stainless steel version, according to the instructions, they will give you a modified version of this bracket to work with a 3 inch pipe. For the titanium one, because it's lighter, you don't need it. They give you an extra spring to put on the front there, and you'll be just fine with that. So I did have to modify this bracket because the bracket is still used to bolt down some of the accessories, mostly holding the coolant lines and breather lines and all sorts of lines that are on the side of the engine. So I did cut it near where the bolt holes are at, and that's pretty much it. I cut that off, and that's no longer going to be needed. We are going to reinstall this part just so we could have our accessories still going where they're supposed to go. And then because this is so big, and we'll show you guys once it's installed, I did have to modify the heat shield that's going here. So I did have to cut a piece of the bracket here at the heat shield, and that goes something like that. I kind of cut it straight. I probably didn't have to cut this much, but I wanted it to look nice. And then this is still going to be held on to the top, and I just cut off the extra tab that belongs down here. So we're getting rid of that. Before I cut anything, I did unbolt this, and I made sure that it's still sturdy, and it will be sturdy. So I think it's gonna work great still. So, and that's pretty much it. We're gonna install this titanium E-valve, and let's see what it sounds like, because this thing looks bitchin', and hopefully it will sound bitchin' too.
We could do a sound comparison
With that one?
This one's gonna be way louder though, because it's just,
I don't know.
I think so, because you have a
So
bigger...
CJ has the other brands. It's 2.5 inch. The difference is 3 inch. The titanium shouldn't matter, I don't think, in sound, but it is wider. But then again, I have a single R, he has a double R, which means he has a bigger turbo. So they might still be comparable. It might sound exactly the same, and we probably won't be able to tell, and we'll be wasting our time looking at the freaking video trying to hear it. So it's just, but they are comparable as far as quality and price. Look at the welds on this thing. Hey, so RPM does provide a new V-band clamp, a heavy duty version, but it wasn't in the packaging, so they're gonna overnight that to me. So thanks Jason for that again. We're gonna install it with the OEM one for now, and we're gonna go ahead and install this bad boy. Don't forget to put the seal that goes against the turbo, because or else you have a little bit of an exhaust leak. Nothing big, but you will have one. All right guys, that exhaust bracket I was talking about earlier, the one I had to modify, usually will hang up here, and you can see it holding onto the exhaust bracket, but I cut that off. In order to get to that, you got to remove the 2 Torx that are here, the 2 10s holding the big bracket that holds all these hoses, and then there's 2 13s that hold that bracket. So it is a process that's very difficult to show you guys on camera, but it does go here. Now I cut that like I showed you guys, and now it's gonna look a lot cleaner for one, and the pipe's gonna look a lot nicer because it also doesn't have those heat shields. So let's go ahead and install the pipe. Like I said earlier, do not forget to put your exhaust seal. And for you newbies that are new to this, in order to get to that pipe, that cap pipe, you have to remove the muffler. In order to remove the muffler, you got to get this plastic piece off. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Torx. You get that off, and then the muffler is pretty much 4 springs that hold on to the cap pipe. Before you do that, there is a 13mm bolt and nut on each side. 2 here and 2 here. You're gonna need a wrench and a ratchet. So the whole muffler will kind of rotate this way, and you kind of just turn it and maneuver it, and you can get it out even with this bumper in the way. Also, I do know that I have one of the exhaust and intakes for the clutch off. And that's because we installed these charge tubes and this blow off valve. So it looks a little different. You don't got to get that off in order to do the exhaust, but. All right, hold it right there.
You guys are struggling?
No, we're not struggling actually.
And I'm over here eating.
Fat boy. Chris is struggling to breathe. Even Angie like that one. All right, we're gonna install the muffler now to hold it in place, because this titanium exhaust, they don't have the modified bracket like they do in the stainless steel version. You're gonna have to put the muffler on, and the muffler is gonna help hold it in place. So the valve is positioned correctly, because I didn't completely tighten the V-band because we want to make sure that the springs all align together. So put those in. Yada yada yada. Bada bing bada boom. All right, boys, it's in there. Still gotta tighten down the bolts for the muffler down at the bottom. Oh man, it looks so goddamn gorgeous. Also gotta put the heat shield. We have to take it apart though, because actually we should have put it on before we put on the muffler. No big deal. We're not taking that back off. You do have to run an extra spring from the bottom ear on the cat delete E-valve, and then the top ear of the muffler. That's gonna help you keep the pipe where it's supposed to be. The muffler is a little crooked. You just gotta give it a little fucking tug, and that's a little bit better. That's a lot better. So muffler is in line. I kind of use the radius rod plate and the BRP logo to kind of straighten it out. And then over here, it's pretty tight right here, but there is a gap, and we're good to go. And it looks freaking nuts. RPM Powersports, the titanium E-valve. Just a freaking masterpiece. So it looks amazing like this, because I can see the charge tubes and whatnot. And man, I wish I didn't have to put the heat shield on, but it's probably the best idea, the better idea to reinstall that, because you don't want the intake getting hot, or the intake tubes getting hot. You want to keep those charge tube temperatures down for that power. When it comes to the wiring, super slick. It's 3 wires. It goes to this connector on the actuator here. The wiring you can pretty much just zip tie. They also give you this little loop and nut that goes on this, which is again really nice to have. Then you just run that pretty much like any wiring. You run that through the tunnel in the front. It goes down your center console, and ultimately you will end up putting the switch in probably somewhere you would want it, like I am here. We're gonna end up putting the switch here in the center console. I used to have my horn switch here, but that is changing very soon. Check out the steering wheel. I'm gonna show you guys how to do that very soon. We're gonna have my horn and my push to talk, which is really nice. But on to the exhaust. All you really gotta do is pretty much hook up the power and the ground. The ground goes on the ground terminal at your junction block, and the red one will go to the accessory terminal. So really simple. I'm gonna wire that up. We're gonna show you guys what this sounds like. There it is in all her glory.
Dude, that's a big difference.
We're inside the garage though. We don't know what this sounds like outside. We're gonna do a video comparison very soon of the shocker, which is a 2.5-inch pipe, but it's basically the same thing. And this E-valve from RPM, which is a 3-inch. Does that make a difference though?
I think that 1/2 inch, dog.
But,
Ask around, homie.
but
1/2 inch makes a difference.
bigger turbo. 1/2 inch makes a difference? Maybe so, maybe so. Hey, where's my soda at? So sounds good and looks good. Huge shout out to Jason over at RPM Powersports for hooking me up. If you guys want to check these out, check out the link in description for the titanium version, the stainless version in 3-inch, and the stainless version in 2.5-inch. The E-valves are badass. They also have other ones, cat deletes without the E-valve. They also have an exhaust you guys can check out. They also offer charge tubes and blow-off valves, which are really nice. I'm gonna leave a link to their video YouTube channel because they have a lot of nice videos showing off their products, and you guys won't be disappointed, so check them out. 5% off, FRANKGLIFE. Doesn't sound like a lot, but they're already priced really competitive, so check them out. See you guys next time. Thanks for watching. And Timmy, where's the goddamn tacos at? All right guys, this exhaust came out beautiful. It's got hints of blue, hints of purple, but I want my exhaust to be more evenly blue. Now I know the heat is gonna start changing the colors, but blue is at a pretty high temperature, and I don't think the exhaust is gonna get that hot to change the whole thing. So as you can see here, this blue is beautiful, it's amazing. I want the whole thing to look like that versus purple. So I'm gonna use a propane tank and just a regular torch and just heat it evenly until you start seeing that blue. Just don't go past that blue because you will get a lighter blue, and you can't go back from that unless you polish the pipe all over again. So just be very careful if you decide to do this. You don't have to. I'm being picky, but it's gonna look awesome. The trick is, once the pipe is evenly hot, to kind of just keep it moving after it's evenly hot. You don't want to do too much in one spot because it'll turn a real light blue, and beyond that start turning like yellow.